A man watched me outside my hotel room. I think he was trying to get in. I was traveling alone for a work conference and booked a comfort inn near the convention center. Nothing fancy, just clean, cheap, and close. The lobby smelled faintly like old coffee and lemon-scented floor cleaner. The guy at the front desk barely looked up when I checked in, just slid the key card across the counter and muttered, "Room 309, elevator's to the left." The elevator ride up was uneventful. No one else got in with me. When the door slid open on the third floor, I immediately noticed how quiet it was. Too quiet. No distant TVs. No doors slamming. No muffled conversations. Just a long hallway, with patterned carpet and yellowish lights buzzing faintly. My room was at the far end, 309, past all the other identical doors. As I rolled my suitcase down the hall, I noticed something. At the very end of the hallway, standing near the stairwell door, there was a man. He was facing me. Not moving, not doing anything. Just standing there, watching. I slowed for a second, confused. Maybe he was waiting for someone. Maybe he was a guest locked out. I kept walking, tried not to stare. As I got closer to my door, I glanced back. The man turned without a sound and slipped through the stairwell door. Gone. I shook it off, told myself it was nothing. Maybe he did not want to make it awkward. Maybe he was embarrassed. Inside the room, everything felt a little too still. The air smelled faintly of old detergent, like the carpets had been cleaned but not aired out. I noticed the desk chair was turned to face the window, not where housekeeping usually leaves it. A small detail, but it stuck with me. I turned on the TV for background noise, tossed my bag onto the bed, and settled in. The evening passed without anything else. I ordered delivery and ate on the bed, flipping through cable channels. Every now and then, I thought I heard faint footsteps in the hallway. Very soft. Not constant. Always stopping when I muted the TV to listen. Around 1:50 a.m., the room phone rang. The sharp, old-fashioned ring cut through the quiet like a knife. I sat up, startled. I answered. "Hello?" Static. A faint crackling sound. "Hello?" I said again louder. There was breathing on the other end. Not a voice, just steady, audible breathing. Then a click. Deadline. I hung up, staring at the phone. It could have been a prank. A crossed wire. Old phone system. Hotels are not exactly known for perfect maintenance. I laid back down, facing the door. Maybe 20 minutes later, there was a knock. 3 slow, deliberate knocks. Measured, not frantic, not playful. I sat up and listened. Another knock. Another knock. I got up slowly, walked to the door, and looked through the peephole. The hallway was empty. No footsteps, no elevator ding, no stairwell door swinging shut. I stood there longer than I should have, holding my breath, waiting. Nothing. I backed away and grabbed my cell. Called the front desk.
"Comfort in, front desk."
The same man answered. Someone knocked on my door," I said quietly. And someone called my room?"
"Room number?"
309. A pause.
"Sir, external calls cannot be connected to guest rooms.
He said.
Only internal.
Another pause.
Stay inside your room. I'll send security up."
About 5 minutes later, I heard the elevator ding faintly, then slow, heavy footsteps coming down the hall. There was a knock, normal this time. "Hotel security, sir." I looked through the peephole. One staff member, middle-aged guy, black polo with the hotel logo, radio on his hip. I opened the door with the chain still latched. He asked if I wanted him to walk the hallway and check the floor. I said yes. He disappeared down the hallway, moving slowly, checking doors, looking into the stairwell. He even checked the emergency exit at the far end. When he came back, he shook his head. "No one out here now. Could be someone messing around," he said. "Happens sometimes, late at night. You should keep your deadbolt locked," he added. "I have," I said. He gave a short nod and walked back toward the elevator. I watched until the doors closed. I locked everything again and sat back down on the bed. I left the TV muted. I wanted to hear everything. Around 3 a.m., I heard it again. The door handle moving. Slow at first, then a little firmer, like someone trying to see if it was unlocked. I got up carefully and looked through the peephole. It was covered, like something was pressed against it from the other side. I backed away immediately, heart pounding. I grabbed the nearest chair, jammed it under the door handle, and sprinted to the room phone. I called the front desk. "Someone's at my door," I hissed, "trying to get in."
Stay inside. We're setting security up right now.
The man said. Less than 2 minutes later, I heard footsteps. A knock. "Hotel security, sir." I checked the peephole carefully. The cover was gone. The same staff member was outside. I opened the door with the chain still on. "There was no one here when I got up," he said. "No one in the hallway." I demanded they check the cameras. He agreed and called the front desk on his radio. After a short wait, he came back. "The feed is down," he said. "Wiring issue. Cameras on this floor have been glitching. They're supposed to fix it tomorrow." I stared at him, not knowing what to say. I relocked everything, reinforced the chair, and sat on the bed, wide awake. An hour passed. Around 4 a.m., I realized I was not going to sleep. I decided to go downstairs to the lobby, maybe just sit there until sunrise. I grabbed my room key, unlocked the door, and stepped into the hallway. It was completely silent. Still. I started walking toward the elevators. About halfway there, I glanced down the opposite end of the hall. The man was there, head to toe in black, standing perfectly still, watching me. I froze. He took one step forward, then another. Then he broke into a full sprint straight toward me, and I ran. And that was A Man Watched Me Outside My Hotel Room. I think he was trying to get in, by SafeScareOfficial. So what I like about this is it immediately makes me think of a lot of really cool horror scenarios, which tend to involve a hotel room, a motel room, or even just the building in general, right? Some kind of an accommodation, which that's a surprisingly, it's a very common kind of a setting, really, which I think works really well because it's one of the places where you're meant to feel like you're at least somewhat safe, right? And so it subverts that idea, and I think it's really fun. And the best part is that it's not always the same where it's like, oh, it's just a killer on the loose, something. You never know exactly what you're going to be dealing with. And I'll get into some of the examples I'm talking about. So I like this story quite a lot because, yet again, you don't fully know what the deal is. I mean, I feel like clearly the hotel itself is a bit weird. Like maybe the people who work there are the problem, would be my guess. But so it seems to be, at least to my understanding, and I could have misread this, in which case please do correct me. I believe it's the security guy who is the problem, right? But I wouldn't quite say it's fully confirmed by the context, because when he mentions the man, I could be talking about the first guy he thought he saw ages ago, which more likely is what the scenario is. But then, like, how has he been getting away with all kinds of stuff? It definitely feels like he's in far more control of the situation, which is obviously what's going on. And clearly the hotel just are too slow in the uptake to keep up with what's going on. Or maybe they have like a weird arrangement going on or something. I don't fucking know. It makes me think of quite a number of things, and that's what I'm really excited to talk about as well. I would say things that this made me think about would, probably be the countless number of movies that take place in hotels. The Shining is one of the most popular ones because that technically is in the Overlook Hotel. And, it's not exactly the same kind of a scenario. It's more of a psychological horror, is The Shining. I'm sure tons of you know that by now. But still. I think a better one would probably be, if you really want to go back in time, Psycho from, I think, 1960s, if I remember right. I think it's the 1960s, where you have it's the Bates Motel. And that's quite good, where, yet again, you kind of go in, everything seems all somewhat pleasant and nice, and no, it's not. If you stay at the motel, you're probably going to become a victim, most likely, which is great. It's always very fun. It also made me think of the movie Vacancy, which I think is from the 2000s, which is, yet again, a scenario where people check into a hotel, things aren't as they seem, they're going to become a victim of some kind of a horrific thing going on. So these are all similar in those kind of ways. The fact that whenever you stay at these places, something bad happens, but they usually have a different, whether it be, say, the owner or the owner's mother, or the hotel itself makes people go mad. Or I suppose even Room 1408 you could kind of even mention, is another fantastic example of horror inside of a hotel room, but in a different kind of way. It also reminds me of one of the Fears to Fathom episodes I've streamed ages ago. Episode number 2. I'll pop a little link up here, I'm sure. If you want to see an hour-long gameplay of me having horrifying times in a hotel room, in a video game, of course. When it comes to actual real world stuff, this is interesting because I've been in quite a number of hotels and motels and stuff like that, and especially in England, the fact that there's tons of them that have scary histories or haunted histories, or they claim to be haunted and everything like that. And it's not that I don't believe any of it. I'm always super open to the idea of anything supernatural or paranormal or anything like that. But the problem is, because I personally haven't had any convincing enough experiences, I obviously take it with a grain of salt, I'd love to have an experience happen, but I've never had anything in any of these places that I've been to that have maybe been yeah, this has to be a ghost. I've heard, I've heard noises, I've heard, things, but I wouldn't say I've heard anything that was too out of the norm. Especially with the older buildings. Older buildings make all kinds of noises and stuff like that, so a lot of it can be explained away by that, or, a variety of other issues and stuff like that. So I'd love to have some kind of a spooky experience, but I personally have never had it, so yeah. Nor have I ever been in a place where, people have died while I was there. That'd be horrifying. That's a scary thought, right, in and of itself. Not to say that hotels couldn't be. They have all kinds of problems like that. One of the most infamous ones is the H. Holmes Hotel. Well, the murder hotel, right? Where he, the place was basically an elaborate big old trap puzzle bizarro-ness, and the point was, every room had a way to kill you and stuff like that. Fucking wild, and he was a serial killer because of it. Just, you never know, Granted, I get the feeling these days you're gonna be all right. It's clearly far more regulated and way less dangerous. And obviously, a lot of things are fictional. The H. Holmes thing is real, but, that was, yet again, a long fucking time ago. I think it was, 1800s, if I remember correctly. It might have been, late 1800s, but still, I think it was. I gotta check it now, because I don't remember, but, yeah, a long time ago, if I remember right. Yeah, between 1891 and 1894. Yeah, okay. There you go. I really enjoyed the story simply because it made me think of all those kind of just awesome things, really, and I think it's great. And the problem is that there's also tons more references we can go through, but yet again, we don't want to, have a fucking hour-long review, right? Save that for maybe review official videos, stuff like that. Anyway, this has been A Man Watched Me Outside My Hotel Room. I think he was trying to get in, by SafeScareOfficial. Which, first of all, thank you, SafeScareOfficial. There'll also be a link for the Reddit post, in case you want to read it yourselves. But I'm also going to mention their subreddit, which is r/SafeScare, where they also put up more stories just like this. I suggest giving it a little check out. I know I sure will. I think I've joined it, actually. I have joined it. So I know I'm going to check out some more of these stories. Thank you all so much for watching. We really hope you've enjoyed. I've had a fantastic time, and I sure hope you have too. I've been Nate at Night, and I will see you for whatever's next. Take care out there. Shout out to these cool peeps. Seriously, we wouldn't have got this far without them. You're all amazing. I love you all so much. Honestly, it's tremendous work you do. Supporting the channel, keeping us afloat. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. You too could become a cool peep for just $1 a month. What that's going to get you is 2 weeks early access to future videos. It's also going to get you exclusive members-only content. And there might be extra goodies coming along the way. What can I say? I'm just charitable like that. Or you can become super cool. Now that's $5 a month, but what you're going to get out of that is all the perks from the previous tier, plus also 10% discount on future merchandise, and also access to my private Discord server with a fantastic little community that we have, where I plan on hosting monthly movie nights and also weekly casual hangouts. You can also show your support by tipping through either Super Chats, Super Thanks, both on YouTube, or through my Streamlabs.com URL, which will be in the description of future videos below. Cheers for now, guys!